So before we talk about exercises, strength or flexibility, we need to talk about the most important truth of all, which is the movement. What is movement? Movement equals life. So think about it. Everything you want in life, career, family, adventures, even relationships, requires movement. You don't get to shake someone's hand, build your business, travel, dance, or even hug someone you love without moving your body and your thoughts. So the first question is, why do we move? And the answer is not just to burn calories, to get fit, to look good. It's because movement is how we stay alive. This is how we adapt. This is how we create a life worth living. All right, so why movement matters? So let's zoom out. So the laws of biology and physics tells us something powerful. The universe moves towards entropy, breaking down decay, disorder. If we stop moving, our body decays faster. If we move with purpose, we slow that decay down. Your joints, muscles, and connective tissues are like bank accounts. Every day you either make deposits through movements, stress, and adaptations, or you make withdrawals through sitting, stress, lack of movement, neglect, lack of recovery, lack of sleep, so on and so forth. And when the account runs dry, you get pain, injuries, or worse, you lose your freedom to do the things you love. So people forget to think bigger. This isn't just about lifting weight or hitting the gym or hitting the PBs. Movement is getting up in the morning without pain. Movement is having the energy to run your business without being drained by back stiffness. Movement is having the health to travel, to play sports, to have great sex, to climb mountains, to ski, to hike, to dance at your your friends' weddings, or you dance at someone's birthday party. So here's the thing that not many fitness coaches or not many people in the fitness industry want to say, which is, what's the point of having money, success, or status if your body's broken, if you can't enjoy it, if your recovery sucks, your sleep sucks? So the movement is a foundation that makes everything else possible. So in a human mechanic, we start with 4 pillars. First is all movements are created internally. Second, all movements are executed internally. Third, internal constraints are always the first to overcome. Fourth, external displays of movement are just an expression of your internal function or internal capabilities of your body and your nervous system. So that means what you see on the outside, a squat, a deadlift, a jump, a run, is just the surface. What really matters is what's happening inside your joints, your tissues, your nervous system, your connective tissues, and all the other systems we have. So if those break down, the outside breaks down too. So let's talk about internal versus external training. So here's where most people get it wrong. The fitness industry is obsessed with external training. Squats, deadlifts, big biceps, big triceps, bench press, running. And for sure they're useful, but they only train you to get good at those patterns. They don't actually change the health of your tissue. So internal training, on the other hand, is about upgrading the system itself. So expanding your joint space, like creating more of your shoulder, more of your hip, building stronger connective tissue, improving afferent and efferent flow, the communication between your body and brain and body. So when you train internally, you bring a new body to external exercises. That means fewer plateaus, fewer injuries, and more long-term growth. So accommodation and why people plateau. So here's a word you will hear me say a lot, which is accommodation, which basically means a compensation. Accommodation is when your nervous system finds shortcuts. It figures out how to do the same thing with less energy, which is great for survival, but terrible for adaptation. So that's why people plateau. That's why the same workout stops working. That's why injuries creep up. So internal training is the only way to avoid accommodation indefinitely, because it constantly changes your internal environment. You're always bringing new versions of yourself to the lift, to the run, to the game, or the business meeting, believe it or not. How I see movement as part of longevity. So every year you don't train your joints, your workspace shrinks. Less hip space equals more stress on your low back. Less shoulder space equals injuries when you reach overhead or do things like throwing or swimming. Less rotation in your spine or any other joint means or equals more stiffness, less energy. So every lost degree of movement is a lost option in life. And once you lose options, you lose freedom. So training internally, which means using cars, isometric, tissue-specific work, is like brushing your teeth, but for your joints, for your tissue, for your body. It's hydrating them. It's how you keep your body young, adaptable, and ready for whatever life throws at you. Movement is nothing to do with how you look. It's not even about fixing pains. Movement is a foundation of your entire life. Your business, your relationships, your adventures, your health. So my goal is to convince you to shift your perspective. Try and maybe see movement as your most important currency. You can't buy more time, but you can buy more quality of time by taking care of your body. Because movement is life, and how well you move is how well you live life. And it kind of speaks for itself, like when we have a lower back pain, which we all had. I don't know, I've had many lower back pains. I've had lower back, shoulder pains. I have had neck pains. And as soon as I have these pains, I cannot do anything. I cannot throw. I cannot look quickly. I cannot have fun. I need to lay down, or I need to do some movements, or I need to rehab it. It needs movement. It needs nutrients. It needs engagement. So as soon as you lose your capabilities of your body, of your nervous system, of your joints, your life decays. Things becoming more challenging. You got to now invest money in a coach. You're going to now invest money in surgeries, or you got to pay for a medication. You got to pay for physio, and it sucks. It costs you a lot. And when you keep getting fed the incorrect guidance or incorrect ways to deal with injuries, you spend thousands and thousands and never really get to that root cause and fix the root cause. So through these videos, I really want you to understand that there's a lot of nuances, but there's principles that can be used with the right tools, and you should have the ability to have a healthier and more promising life from avoiding the injuries and actually building the body you want, building the aesthetics you want, building the strength you want. You just need to understand the principles, and you need to know when and what tools to use for how long and in which direction, which I will help you through these videos, and I will try and help you understand complex things in a simple way.